Okay.
So, for a little background, we started this process a little over 6 months ago with discussing traveling to Mexico. And then we discovered we could get a permanent residency visa or green card in Mexico. Um, so we started doing all of the paperwork at home, gathering all the documents, researching, watching videos on YouTube on how to do it. The process has recently changed, in some ways gotten easier. So I'm going to start with kind of the nitty gritty, the process. First of all, you need to go to the Mexican consulate wherever you live. They don't have them everywhere. We went to the one in Boise, Idaho. It was very difficult to get through on the phone. I left a message and left a second message, never got a call back. So we drove there and they helped us there to get an appointment a couple of weeks later. So that was part of the process, and it's something you need to know. It might be easier in other cities. Other consulates are probably much busier than the one in Boise, and it was fairly busy. So what do you need to apply for a permanent resident visa right now? Okay, it could change next month. It's definitely different than it was a while back. You need the visa application. That's available on the Mexican consulate website. Also, if you're using Google Chrome or Google, you can download, you can translate the page. It makes it a lot easier to read, okay? You need the visa application completely filled out. You need a valid passport. So you need to start that. If you don't have that, you need to get that. You need one color picture, passport size, with a white background and no eyeglasses on. If one of you or one of the people is not a U.S. citizen, you need to have a copy of your green card or whatever allows you to be a legal resident of the U.S. It only costs $51 and it has to be cash to do the application, so it's not expensive. You need proof of economic solvency. This is one of two things. It's either a balance of $276,580 US dollars for each of the last 12 months, okay? Or a copy of documents showing you bring in at least a monthly income of $6,900 or more each month from pensions, a job, 401ks, whatever you're getting your money from. So those are the two numbers. And those can change based on the exchange rate and inflation and things like that. So you need to check the website. Okay, the next step was, so we got all that together. We had to get, they have to be original copies of the bank statements or the brokerage statements. Not copies of copies ain't gonna work. It's gonna have to be something sent to you physically by the bank or the brokerage, or you get from the bank or the brokerage. And many of us don't get those anymore. So you need to arrange to get those. So once the application form is filled out and printed out and all the forms are ready, make 2 copies of, and then make another copy of those forms. Make a copy of the originals, okay? Then you go into your appointment, okay? In our case, it was very informal. We went up to the window, he went over all the documents, he confirmed things, he took a picture, he did they do fingerprints right there, electronic fingerprints, right there in the little window. Okay, so we got that done, and then they sent us away. They said, come back in an hour. So we went, we did a little bit of shopping, messed around, walked back, and they were ready for us. Okay, and then they issued the permanent residence visa on site right at that point. And what they do is they take your passport and they literally take the little visa and they glue it into your passport, and then they stamp it. Okay, and you are now done with everything you need to do at the consulate. No more to the consulate. You don't even have to see them again. The next thing you do is you need to travel within 6 months to Mexico. And there are FMM, there are INM, which is the Immigration Service in Mexico, offices in all of the large cities, even some of the smaller ones. But we're in Merida, which is on the Yucatan Peninsula. and it was pretty simple. Okay, we're actually very lucky. We found a B&B within walking distance of the I&M office. So, but the thing about coming to Mexico is when you land, you take that visa and you show it to the immigration person at the airport and you say, Kanye, and they look at it and then they go into the system and they record your arrival in their system so that the I&M office can see it. Now I'm going to do a little segue here. They messed up with mine. My wife's was fine. I didn't get an FMM form, okay? They got an she got an FMM form. I tried logging in, I could not download it. So I had to go into the office and explain that at the I&M. And they're like, oh, that's okay, as long as you have this stamp in the Kanye stamp on your visa from the airport, you're okay, because there's still an FMM form on the system. I just couldn't download it. So the lady logged in, she got my FMM form, and then we had other forms to fill out. And they will tell you about that at the office. Okay? One of them is like a demographic form. And I didn't even see her look at that. It's more like where you're from, how old you are, your occupation, things like that. And she didn't even look at that. The main form they look at is your final application for change in status. That's what the form is. It's a change in status. You're going from temporary to permanent. Okay? So you go online. They show you how to do this at the I&M office. You go online and you fill that out. Whatever you do, do not take that and then you download a PDF, put it on and get it printed. Or you actually don't have to print it. You can just go in and tell them the number on the form. But anyway, we printed them out and there was an error. I went into the PDF and modified it to fix something. Don't do that. Just don't do it. It breaks the system. So I had to go and redo it. We finally got it done. They were incredibly helpful. I want to say this about the I&M office here in Merida. They were incredibly helpful. They were friendly. They did everything they could to get us through the process. One of the things you have to know is you have to pay it's a little less than $400 for each of your permanent residents, okay? It's about $400 to finish it off, and it has to be paid with credit card, okay? So we ended up having to do 3 appointments because we didn't have the right form. We didn't know about the second form, but they give you how to.
Okay, start.
So due to technical difficulties, I have to start over a little bit. So they give you a QR code to go on and find where to do the second form. You go in and you fill it out. You put in your passport number, your current address, your home address in America, your age, all of that stuff. It's all information you already have. None of it's difficult. But you need to have your address in Mexico, wherever just the place you're staying at. You fill that out and you save it to PDF. Then they just need the number off that form. They don't need the form when you go back. You save that to PDF on your phone or and write it down. You go in, you tell them the number, they print it off, and then you sign it. Okay? So you don't have to have that printed out when you go in. You have to sign the FMM form. You have to sign that. There's a form that allows them a privacy notice about your email because they want to know a real email address. There's a bunch of small steps, but they guide you through those. And they're incredibly detailed about this. They're very careful, okay? And they get you through it, and they say, wait here a minute. They go back a little while later, they bring out your card. And it was a great experience from customer service point of view from the Mexican I&M agents. They were very nice to us. They were very patient. Part of it, I guess, is we're paying $400, but really, She could have been a lot more tough on us on me than I was. I made 3 mistakes in the form, and she fixed it all for me. So anyway, as far as benefits, we decided to go out to Chichen Itza yesterday, and they actually have this at when you come in. If you have your Mexican residency, they have a separate line you go through. You show them that, and they give you the ticket to take in to go into Chichen Itza. So we saved $80 right there, not having to pay. So that's an example of one of the benefits. Also, when you land in the country, you can use an expedited entry. You don't have to go through the entry the regular tourists go through. And it provides a very good ID when you're in the country. You don't have to get any more visas. You don't have to do anything else. You just show that when you come in the country. So I highly recommend it, even if you're not going to be here full time. If you got any questions, we're more than willing to ask. Post them on YouTube, and we'll try to help you get through this. We did not use an agent. Some people do, but we have experience with immigration. So we felt we could do this ourselves, and we managed to do it. So good luck.